What's up, YouTube fans? Today, we're going to look at the Transart Metal Panther Commander, otherwise known as Transmetal Cheetor. So as you know, if you've been watching my channel, I'm not a huge Beast Wars guy. I'm starting to get into Beast Wars a little bit just because of the Kingdom line, but I'm also, watching Season 2 again. But this is from Transmetal Beast Wars, and I haven't really watched it, so I don't know much about the characters. The person who sent this to me, James Magaletta, he is a big Beast Wars fan and a big Cheetor fan. So I appreciate him sending this to me to take a look at. It's nice to get some things to look at like this that I wouldn't normally buy myself. So thank you, James. So let's take a look around this figure. There's a lot of nice shiny bits on it. It really would stand out on a shelf. This chromed or coppered color is really nice. All those little details. He is painted. Let's see. So you got the green. I think it's metallic flecked, or maybe it's just green. You got the silver paint there. Silver paint on the head, which we'll see later in the cheetah mode. Silver paint all the way down here on the legs. These are die cast down here, and they're painted green. And on the back, paint here, green here. These legs are fully painted. More die cast here on the front, although it does peg in, so yeah, very nice. A lot of good paint and good die cast overall. He does come with a bunch of accessories. So one of the first things, which is kind of odd, is this, and it says Transart on it. Well, the purpose of this is to wipe down the chrome from fingerprints, so that's a nice little touch. But it also has the QR codes for the instructions. I went to this, it took me to a Weibo page, and I could not find instructions there. Fortunately, this guy's simple enough, you don't need the instructions. All right, also comes with a collector's card. I didn't take out of this package because this is not my figure, but it says BMW 03 Metal Panther. There are actually two cards in here. So the other card is for their first figure, the Skateboard Gorilla. I think it's their Transmetal Primal, but there you go. That looks really cool. So there you have that. You also get a stand, which unfortunately doesn't work in this mode, so I'll go over this a little bit more detail later, but basically you've got these peg holes here and you peg it in. This is on a locking rotating mechanism, so if you push in here, then you can rotate this, and then you let go, it locks. And then you can build up on it, that piece, or you can take this piece, and now it's ready to receive him, but only in beast mode. It does not attach in the robot mode. I checked. So we'll take a look at this again later on in the review. You also get his tail, which of course he used as a weapon in the show. It does have a little tab right there, and that does fit into his claw hand here. I did ask about the claw hand. Again, I'm not that familiar with these guys, but apparently the claw hand is a throwback to the toy and the cartoon, because his mouth ends up making his hands. That's why he ends up with claws. But there you go. There's his gun. There's his axe, and you can pose this however you like. It is a bendy wire rubber plastic. I guess rubber or silicone. I do find it's a little bit loose, but you can get it posed properly. Let's take a look at the head sculpt. Really nice. Those eyes just glow, and they are painted very well. The whole face is actually painted well. He does have that smiling face, which I don't love, but it is accurate to the show, so people who love the show are going to love this figure, because what an accurate face sculpt he's got there, and it looks beautiful. I don't love that smiling look, me personally, but it is accurate. Let's go over the articulation since we're looking up close. So the head is on a ball joint, so you get all the movement side to side, up to there, down to there, and then rotate all the way around. Nice tight joint on that. The shoulder goes up to there, and then you can actually get it even further if you lift up off of this. It does peg in there. You can also get a butterfly joint, so if you want to bring his arms together, you can. He has a elbow bend at the elbow, rotation at the elbow, The elbow again's past 90 degrees, and then he's got a wrist rotation here, which is more for transformation, but it does work. And then his claw will open and close all the way. So some nice articulation on that arm. You got really quite a bit. I do find that these pegs are a little bit on the loose side, but this one especially is a little bit looser. But you could probably just do some floor polish on that peg. But overall, good articulation there. You do have something really cool here, and it's cool, but it's also problematic. So this has an ab crunch, and he's got this accordion style cover down. So as you move this, that accordion piece does move. Let's just move that out of the way. Unfortunately, it just comes unpegged, so you have to kind of peg it back in together. But that is a cool feature. I've never really seen that on a Masterpiece style figure. So it does go a little bit side to side, and it goes backwards and forwards. Although it doesn't really stay, but he does have that movement there. Rotation at the waist all the way around freely. The leg is on a ratchet, goes up to there, back to there, out to the side on another ratchet, which is really nice. I'm glad they put ratchets in. These are heavy legs. A lot of die casting here, so you want nice ratchets there. Knee bends 90 degrees. There's a separate joint here, but that's really for the transformation, but you could bend that if you wanted to. There's a rotation on the ball joint here at the thigh. And then the foot goes up to there, bound to there, and then full ankle tilt all the way. So you get all that movement, pretty much any angle. And because it's die cast, it's pretty strong. The joints here are pretty tight. And you can get him in some good poses because of that. Nice heavy feet and nice planted proportions on this guy. All right, now let's get this guy transformed into his beast mode. Relatively simple transformation. I actually didn't need any instructions or use anything like that or videos. It's really just self-explanatory. So let's go ahead and take his backpack, and we're going to fold this back, and you can fold that out and just leave that like that for now. Open up this chest just so you have a little clearance because you need to get the head down in there. So speaking of that, go ahead and get the head, fold it all the way down, and you should see this come flush here, this gray piece. Now that you've done that, go ahead and take the arms and fold them inwards above where the head was. Rotate these hands so you have the head kind of facing like that. And then go ahead and plug the head together. Just tabs together in a couple different spots. I do wish it tabbed together a little bit more securely, but it does tab together. Now that you've done that, you can take this and fold that down. It does have to clear these panels, so make sure you have these pushed all the way in, and then push this down, and that should peg in. It does peg in on the top here, so make sure you have that. You can press here, make sure that pegs in. And that's why they give you this, so you can wipe off any fingerprints. All right, now go ahead and take this, and that's going to peg in down here. So fold that in. Come to the top here, rotate the legs down, and you got to push up so it collapses inside his arm. Same on this side. Fold this down. Oh, don't reveal that yet. And then push that in. Peg this back in if it came loose. This does tend to be a little bit on the loose side, but if you push it in tight, it should stay. Right. On the back legs here, go ahead and fold here. You can fold this heel spur back up into his leg like that. That guy just wants to keep popping out, so I'm going to leave it for now. Right. And you can have his legs like that, or you can kind of have them more straight, but I think it looks better and it's preferable like this. Let's fold this back up. And then the last touch is to take this, which is his weapon. It's going to become his tail. So it does come potentially separated in the box. So you are going to want to plug this in together. I've been told not to bend bendy wire plastic like this too much, so I'm trying not to since it's not my figure. So you can see there's a peg there that's going to go into there, and then the front's going to go into there. It's very unfortunate where you stick this, but right, there's the tail. There you have Metal Panther Commander in his cheetah mode. He looks very transmetal-y. It's pretty cool. Obviously, there is a gimmick here, which was popping out while I was doing this. There's a button right here, nice metal die-cast button. Press that, and his wings pop up. And he's got a little slot here, and he does come with a whole bunch of accessories here. So basically blast effects. So you can take one of these big ones and then one of the small ones, put it like that. Or if you really want, you can put them all together, make a super duper one like that. Let's just put that in since we have it all. And there you go. That's really neat. I love that they included stuff like this. More companies, more third-party companies should start including blast effects or weapon effects. It really just adds to the playability and the fun factor of these figures when it's on your shelf and it has something like this. All right, the next thing you can do is take this figure and mount it to here. So if you look on the bottom, remember that tab that we had before? That is going to fit right onto there. Unfortunately, it's not very tight. So I have found, here, let's get it one angle forward. I have found it is a little bit on the loose side, so you kind of have to, you know, balance it. But if you can get it to stay, it looks really nice. That looks beautiful. I love that flying look with those blast effects. You can see I'm doing this carefully because I don't want it to fall off, but it really does look nice like that. This is something I would enjoy posing on my shelf like this if this stand were to stay. But since it doesn't, you could also just have it on a different flight stand. Plenty of flight stands could hold this up. You don't have to use this one. So as far as articulation on this guy, the head can move back and forth like this. You can go up and down. So it goes up to there, down to there. The mouth does open. I mean, it does look a little funny because they're claws, but again, that's show accurate. But he can open up his mouth. Moving backwards, no neck movement, but got enough on the head. These arms still rotate the same way they did in the robot mode. You have the legs go up to there, back to there, and then the toes go all the way around, so you can get pretty much anything you'd want. Flying, leaping pose, whatever you need. I do find that this head tends to come apart a little bit, depending on how you have it posed. Coming to the back here, these wings are spring-loaded, so even if you wanted to pose them, they would just spring right back into their position, so you can't really do much there. These legs rotate back and forth, the knees go back and forth, and then this ankle can go back for a more, you know, accurate animal type of leg. And then this tail can move in any direction because it's bendy wire inside of there. So all in all, nice articulation in both modes. I think it looks really cool. So let's transform him back into his robot mode. Go ahead and take these blast effects off and set them aside. Unfortunately, you can't really use those blast effects in the robot mode. Right, go ahead and click these back down. They sometimes tend to pop up on their own, so I tend to hold it by this just so it's not constantly popping out. You can go ahead and take the tail and pop it up and out of the hole there, and it should, so we did have this, but this, it just plugs right back in there. And then you can set this aside for now. Go ahead and straighten out his legs here. And you can bring down his heel spur. It's easiest if you just fold the toe down and then you can bring the heel spur down. And now we're done with the legs. Let's work on the head. So we're going to take this panel here, and that's going to unpeg from there. Take this entire panel, that's going to fold all the way back and just sit on his back like that. Unpeg the head and bring the arms down and peg them into the side. Once you peg these into the side, those spring-loaded things shouldn't open up at all. But here you go. Then go ahead and take the head. That should fold out of his chest cavity here. So if you have trouble, you can push here. That'll give you a head start on getting the head out of there. Peg this chest in. Push it out until it pegs in. Go ahead and take this back panel, push that down. Accordion this, rotate the legs, and then accordion this down, and this should peg in. You can see there's two slots there. They're going to go on these pegs. Let's go ahead and get that pegged in. And then we're going to take care of these legs. So go ahead and take the legs. You have to pull them out on these. And make sure you hit that last click, otherwise it's not going to fold all the way down. So that should peg in on the back, and then you can leave this foot kind of sitting on his back. All right, same on this side. Pull it out and peg it in, and then fold the foot onto his back. So it should look something like this. And make sure you've got all the parts squeezed. I did mention this earlier, those arms tend to be a little bit loose. So final thoughts on Metal Panther. I think he's pretty cool. I think fans of Transmetal are going to love this figure. He is very accurate to the cartoon. He has some really nice articulation. There's a couple little panels that are a little bit annoying, like this panel is a little bit loose. And, you know, sometimes these spring-loaded things tend to pop out before you're ready for them to pop out. But other than that, really cool figure. I like the stand. About my only complaint with this figure is really that this stand doesn't work well, and that's because this fitting is probably either too loose or just too soft of a material to fit on the peg that goes, you know, comes out of his head area here. But that's really it. I don't have a lot of complaints on this guy. He really is a fun figure. I think this is going to be a very nostalgic figure. If you already got the Skateboard Gorilla, then this is going to go really well with that, and it's going to fit in with your other Transmetal Masterpiece, which I guess we're getting now. I guess instead of G1, we're going to start getting Transmetal and Beast Wars. So that's really it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.